Hello, welcome to Facebook Live with Selene. I have been getting questions all week about my box math sheet. People were wondering what box math is. Oh, I left it over on the printer. Actually, no, I didn't. It's underneath my cutter. Haha. But I love to save money. I don't know about you, but I love to take my supplies that I bought anyway for making cards and scrapbook pages or home decor and turning it into a box. And this has been something that long baffles my friends, and it's really not that difficult. And I created a worksheet for it. I actually have two worksheets, but today we're just going to do the rectangle because in less than 2 hours, I have a house full of people coming, and club starts tonight, and we meet at 5, 6:30, and 8, and then of course there's a whole bunch of things to go out. Actually, I could show you. I have six containers. You see all those containers? I know they're fuzzy. 6 full containers full of supplies ready for my crafters for this month's Stamp Club. We have 72 people in Stamp Club, and they each make 8 cards with 8 envelopes, and they get products, and it's a really fun group to belong to. And then every 6 months I send a little gift, so in the process of putting all of that together for tonight, which is it's a big week. I also released my quarterly event where we kick off the catalog. There's some gorgeous products in the September through December catalog. Hey, Cindy. And unfortunately, the catalog isn't doing it for me this time. I got some of these papers in my hands, and I'm so excited. Actually, today I thought we might make a box out of the reindeer paper. So earlier this week, I got a rogue piece of hair. Earlier this week, I created a box, and it was for a bracelet for my friend. It was her birthday. And the bracelet packaging measured 3.5 by 5, so that makes it really simple to know what size box I needed. And I made it 2 inches tall. So I whipped together a box, and in 10 minutes we were out the door making with our little gift in hand, and it had a cute little hand stamped tag, and it didn't take me all night. So I thought today I would preview 4 of the cards from the upcoming quarterly using my favorite designer paper, and that we might make a card box to match, okay? So why don't we flip the camera, and then we'll get moving, because I have to go get ready for club for tonight, which I'm really excited about. The rest of the cards are behind me, but I think there's 8 more cards right here that are all ready to go. 2 of the 3 sections of the catalog release have been prepped, and those who have purchased packets, I think 18 of the 24 packets are gone. So if there's a packet, if you want a packet, you want to make sure that you get in to get yourself a packet. Okay, hey Sean, wow, I have to see my cousin on here. Wow, I hope I'm live in the right place. Woo. Hang on, I'm gonna go look, because now I'm nervous. Okay. I'm in the right place. Whew. I'm live on my business place. Whew. Got nervous there for a second, thinking, oh my gosh, did I go live on my personal page, you know? Anyway, thanks for following, and let's flip the camera, and I'll show you how to make a box. It's really fairly easy. You can see my cabinet there with all my paper, but to not make you dizzy, I'll put the clip here. Okay, so I'm gonna move the table over. Okay, so here's my box math worksheet. And before we even get into that, I'll show you some of the projects from the quarterly. They're in plastic. Isn't that great? It's a top hat, and I watercolored it with Wink Stella. It is fabulous. And I'll just zip through these, but I will unwrap the first card because it is kind of a cool fun fold. Got my little notes here, but so this is sparkly, but it opens like this. Isn't that fabulous? So just a quick and beautiful card. And the cool part about this card, and there's at least 4 cards in the quarterly that you can turn into gift card holders. You would just take your gift card and glue dot it underneath the ribbon here. So this turns into a gift card fairly quickly. So if I wanted to take my 4 projects and make a card box for them so that I could gift these cards to, say, my mom, who would be thrilled to get them, I would want to make a card box that would be at least 5.5 by 4.25, because that's my measurements. But I think I wanted to make it just a tiny bit bigger. So let's go, let's say 4.5 by 5.75. So we're going to need a pen. I got a marker close enough. So the bottom of the box, like the inside, has to be 5.75 by 4.5, and that's going to hold a set of cards, right? Okay. So while you guys are thinking about that for a second, I'm going to ask you how tall we think we want the box to be. Maybe 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, doesn't matter. In the meantime, I'm going to show you my favorite paper from the upcoming catalog mini. And what's funny is I already have some of the strips cut, and I didn't have enough. So I have a friend helping me out with some reindeer paper. But aren't they pretty? Like, I love all the patterns in here. I figured we might make a box topper for this one because it'll match. Look at this present. Isn't that fun? I can't even. And the lights. So this is all just fun patterns in that reindeer paper. And I'll tell you, the catalog doesn't do it justice. Like, it's just so pretty. I think this is my favorite one. The little jingle bells. And this I punched. I have a 1 3/8 inch punch, and it punches out perfectly. So it kind of makes this big gingham pattern into a present if you have a punch that fits it. And then the back side is just scenes with reindeers, and oh my gosh, just so cute. But let's figure out our box, and then we'll see what paper that I have left that's the right size. Because that's, you know, part of it. You want to use up your paper, but you want to make sure you have a big enough piece. And this is just all scraps. Okay. So let's say that we want our box to be 1.5 inches tall. So 1.5 by 1.5. Now I'm going to edit this just a little bit. This is to cut a 1/16 of an inch off 2 sides to start. That's going to make our box a little smaller on the bottom. Instead, I'm going to add a 1/16 of an inch to the top, and I'll explain that after. But we want our box to be 1.5 inches tall. Okay? All right. So 1.5 and 1.5 is 3. So 8.75. Okay, so when we add this together, we get 8.75. You guys with me so far? So this equals 3 plus 5.75 is 8.75. Okay, and then we want the other side of the box, you know, the side that's going to fit it this way, to be 4.5 wide. So 4.5 plus 3 is 7. Okay, so that's what the base of our box should be. Now, while I'm doing the other math, you tell me, do we want shaded spruce? Oh, that's olive. I don't want olive. How about pick between, I thought that was garden green, because olive doesn't match the paper. So shaded spruce or real red. So shaded spruce, you can type a 1. Real red, you type 2. And while you guys are picking that, we'll talk about the top of the box. The top of the box we want to be the same measurement, 5.75 by 4.5. But I don't necessarily want it to be 1.5 inches tall, because then the top of the box would come down over the bottom and go right to the table. I think I want there to be a line. So maybe we'll make it, I don't know. Oh, you want to make the math hard? We'll go 3/4. 3/4, because that splits this in half, right? So 3/4, 3/4. Okay, so bear with me. Hopefully I do this right. 3/4 and 3/4 is 1 1/2 plus 4 1/2. So that's 6. 3/4 and 3/4 is 1 1/2 plus 5 3/4. So this is tricky. So 6 1/2, 7 1/4. Okay, so that's the hardest part right there. Now, again, instead of taking the 1/16 of an inch off the two sides to start, I'm going to add the 1/16 of an inch to two sides on the top, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. But 1, 2, 1. All right, so you guys picked shaded spruce. Cool. So now we have, this is going to be the bottom of our box. So we're going to cut this down to 8 3/4 by 7. Extendo my little ruler on my cutter. And you guys who cut with me every month in club know that this is the scoring blade and this is the cutting blade, right? So the darker blade, rougher touch, that's your cutter. Scorer, lighter touch, this just makes a mark on the paper. So 8 3/4 was our first measurement by 7. This is for the top of the box, for the bottom of the box. So 8 3/4. And we could save this for a tag or something afterwards. It doesn't have to be tossed, you know, by 7. Okay, so we're still just making the bottom of the box. And now we're going to score this paper at 1 1/2 on all 4 sides. So I do prefer my score tool, but it's all the way on the other end of the room. So I'm just going to use the score blade on this. So 1, 2. One thing I like about this trimmer is the line goes all the way up and down at every 1/4 inch mark. So this is a nice measurement to be working with, and because I can see that I'm going to be pretty straight, God willing, right? It's only when you're live that you make mistakes, crazy mistakes, right? 3, 4. Oh, and speaking of crazy mistakes, I need a pair of scissors. Hang on one sec. So while we're doing that, while I'm getting my scissors, knowing that the bottom of the box is shaded spruce, and we need at least a 7 1/4 by 6 inch piece. Let's say, do you want to make it with this guy? Actually, I'm going to take some of the choices out of the equation. We'll say, do you want to make it with him, or do you want to make it with the leaves? So side 1 or side 2. So go again, and I'm going to go by Peggy's comment is next. So this is side 1, this is side 2. You guys pick. Yeah, 1 or 2. And while you're doing that, I'll get the scissors for the bottom of the box. So here I am cutting into the bottom of the box, and I'm going to cut this way. And I could trim just a hair out of that little bit right there. So you can really do this on any box that you need. You go all the way around the same measurement, and just remember to double it when you're adding your numbers together, because our 1 1/2 and 1 1/2 made a 3 inch. It made our paper 3 inches bigger. But that's it. And like, so I can do this in my head now. I didn't have to pull out the worksheet, but the worksheet does help, and I will send it out later this week. I'm going to post it to my blog. I'm going to use SeleneKempton.com. And I'll post the link to my blog for both the rectangle worksheet and the square worksheet, which I'm not going to show today just because of time. So, Peggy, where are you? So, reindeer. Unanimous. Everybody wants the reindeer. I don't blame you. It's wicked cute. All right, so I'm going to just put this to the side for a hot minute, and we'll get this bent up. If you want, you can use a bone folder, but I think we're going to be good. I'll just... So I have all of the score marks coming into the box, meaning I scored on the back side, and that's where the indent is. So the hump is on the inside of the box, which is where I want it. So I'm going to flip this over and add my adhesive to the 4 tabs. And this gives you a really good overhead view of this box that'll hold a card, or hold my little card set, right? If you haven't signed up for the quarterly yet, please do. I don't want you to miss out on the packets. They're fabulous. I've already got 2 of them completed. We're going to use the, we're going to do the silver ribbon that I'll show in a minute. And one of the brand new embellishments provided, I can get it on Go Day. So it's September 3rd when I'll announce the sparkle. But if I can't get one, I have another one picked out. So this one is up a little bit, so I'm just gonna and that's fine. You can just give it a little haircut if it's not perfect, right? Okay. So, and I would probably use my bigger scissors because these little snips sometimes. Whoop. Perfect. Okay. And look, I got a sticker outer over here, but let's just double check before we cut into the designer paper that the cards are gonna fit in there. The cards do. I don't know if the envelope does. Yeah, it does. But not in the plastic. But the card fits. It's not quite as wide as I would like. I wonder what I did wrong. Let's see. Oops, I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna make the bottom again because I don't like where it came. So let's measure the bottom and see if it's 4.5. Maybe I need more room. It's only 4. What did I do? 4.5. Oh, Deb Carlene called it. I measured wrong. 7.5. Ha, see? Yen can make boxes, but she can't add. All right, let's just go for it. We'll go again, and this time I won't dilly-dally. Sorry about that. So I did cut it wrong. It should be 8 3/4 by 7.5, and I almost did it again. No talking and crafting, right? So 7.5. I missed the extra half. Good God. Hopefully I got the math right on the top of the box. Deb, if I'm wrong, make sure you correct me. She's probably like, I can't even watch. She probably turned it off. That's fine. All right, that's all good though. But that goes to show you, like, you think you're doing it, and then you're like, oh, I added wrong. That's what happened. It's not the concept that's wrong. It was my addition. So it's all right. I got my scissors already, so it should go quicker this time. So all of you that voted for the red box, it's your lucky day. But I can use that other box for something else and make a lid for it fairly easily. So we can do that too. Because why waste it? It's a fabulous box. It just doesn't hold cards, which was my point. Okay, so we'll come up, straight up from the side, and then cut into the little tab. Straight up from the side. That looks way wider. These scissors aren't that great. Like, I must need to get them sharpened. I bet you, because they don't have my charm on them, I wonder if that was one that somebody left behind. whenever you come to class here, it's good to have your name on things, because if it assimilates into my stuff, like my friend Elaine has hers ELM, and I know that it's hers if she leaves, and I can stick it in a bag for her, but these scissors are awful. Maybe somebody traded me, who knows? These didn't get sharpened at retreat. Okay, so there's the correct measurement, 7.5, right? Okay, Trish. You were just in time to see me recover from poor math skills. I know the technique, I just did the math wrong. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna put adhesive on the 4 corners. You can use liquid glue for this, anything, tear and tape. The stickiest stuff that you have is better. I love my Seal Plus because it sticks like crazy. It even sticks to your finger, just ask me. Okay, so I'm gonna get these to stand straight up and down. I won't need to trim this one because I won't overdo it. Now, if you angle this in, it'll make your box a little smaller. So try and make it so that it stands up straight with the edge of the box. Nice and square. Okay, so now let's double check. I'm glad I checked, huh? That's how you know if your math is wrong. You go like this. If this doesn't fit, I'm gonna scream. Okay. There's our stuff. So, and woo, it fits. Okay. Awesomeness. Okay, so now we need to go to the top of the box. Anybody want to double check my math? Because I got it wrong once. So 1.5 plus 5 3/4. So 6 3/4. 7 1/4. Am I doing that right? I should just double check on a calculator because I don't trust myself now. I'm not doing that again. So 1.5 plus 5.75. 7 1/4. And then, see, just get the calculator if you're not sure. 4.5 plus 1.5, 1.5, 6. All right, so this time we're right. Now, remember I told you that we would normally cut off a 1/16 of an inch on 2 sides to start? Well, we're going to do it backwards. We're going to add a 1/16 of an inch when we cut our paper. So we're going to do this measurement, 7 1/4 by 6, and then we're going to add a smidge. Just one line on the trimmer, okay? So we agreed that this guy is the cutest thing ever. And normally I would say, oh yay, 6, but we need it to be just slightly larger than 6. So I'm gonna take this to the 6-inch line on my trimmer, and then I'm gonna go past it 1 line. So 1/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to do 7 1/4, and again, I'm going to go past it by 1 line. So 7 1/4 plus a 1/16. It's easier to do that than to think about all the math. You can just move it over 1 line, and you'll be right there. Now, the insides of this will end up a 1/16 of an inch bigger and help it sit on the top of the box nice and snug. Okay? So, according to our sheet, we are going to score at 3/4 all the way around, okay? There's 2 3/4 on this trimmer. There's one, this is where we cut or score, right? There's 1 3/4 on this side of the trimmer, and there's 1 on that side because the ruler goes both ways. So I can put my paper in, score at 3/4, move it over, score it on the other side at 3/4, just for speed, 3/4, rather than take it out and put it in, you know, a bunch of times. So I just did opposites. Come on, don't move. Yay, right on the line. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I'll bring the measurements back in so you can see them again. Hey Connie, good to see you. Did a little bit of box math today. People were asking me about the box that I made for my friend with the bracelet and how I could adjust and make a box any size. And so this is how I do box math. If you're a member of the Creating with Selene Facebook group, my business page is Create with Selene, but my Facebook page is Creating, and you go to the files section of the group there and search the word box. There's both a worksheet for the rectangle and the square box in there as well. So I am just cutting up to the corners. It's kind of hard to see because of the design, but it's gonna work. And we'll have a lid that's 3/4 of an inch where our box is 1.5 inches tall. It'll make a nice border. I'm gonna bend this back just so I can make sure that it's nice and scored. Okay. And then same deal, the adhesive goes on the little tabs. And on my thumb. All right. So I got the adhesive on the tabs, and I'm just gonna fold them up and in and attach my box. So again, when you're attaching the box, you wanna make sure the edges to this, you wanna make sure that they're straight up and down, because if you angle them in, you'll make the top of the box a wee bit smaller, and then it may not fit your box top. But this should fit the second attempt perfectly now that we get the math right. Funny. But you never know what can happen on the fly, right? Card making is not a perfect, but we can definitely make a box topper for this. So maybe we'll do that before we call it a day. But this will just sit over the top, and now I have a card box for my cards for the quarterly. Yep. So this one would hold cards. This one is going to hold something else because it's too small, but maybe it'll hold my punch. You get it, right? Like, you can make a box for anything. We'll remeasure that one and we'll do the math again. So hang on. But this is the ribbon that they're getting for the quarterly, so it matches the cards perfectly. And as long as I can get the product, we'll do the druzy embellishments, which are super sparkly silver and gold dots. But I wanted to wait. Again, these are my favorite scissors ever. Note to self, throw these out. Get a new pair. Oh, here, there's a better pair. Found another pair. Okay. So there's my little box for cards, and this I can slip on and off like a belly band, and my cards are inside, and woo, I just want to keep doing that, sorry. All right, so now that we messed this up, let's make a gift box for something else. It could be anything, right? This box actually measures, because I did the math wrong, 4 by 5 3/4. Okay, so the 5 3/4 inch side would be correct, right? Now, I still want it to be 3/4, but I want this to be 4, and I want this to be 3/4. So that's 1.5 plus 4 equals 5.5. So we're going to ignore this one and do this one for the box we messed up on. So even if you do mess up on a box, it is not the end of the world. You can just make a cover for it and call it a day. How about, this pattern's awfully cute. Oh, it's tiny. The piece I have left is little. Oh, there, we get a big piece. Okay. How about Christmas trees? Okay, so we'll cut this down. We're going to cut off a 5.5 inch piece. One cool thing about this paper cutter is to cut a 5.5, which we do all the time as card makers. There's a line right here, so this is the 5.5-inch marker, and to go quarterly and get the instructions for the cards. Yes, you can do that, Deb. There's yeah, it's a 12 card class. It's 3 complete classes, and it's actually really good for demonstrators because it helps have you have a bunch of classes out of the gate. It's intended for my team, but I invite everybody to participate. Customers, friends, demonstrators, everybody's welcome. Oh, and I cut that down to 5.5, and I forgot the smidge. So let's go back. So we need the smidge, because what will happen if we don't have the smidge? The lid won't fit. So 5.5 plus a 1/16 of an inch. Again, it's not a perfect science, right? And then 7.25 plus a 1/16 of an inch. So that measure twice, cut once. Okay, now I'm going to take this to fit the smaller box. This was the 4-inch box. And I'll score at the 3/4 inch mark on all 4 sides. So this will make a cover for the oopsie, but why waste it? We already cut it. So 3/4. I could get frustrated and get rid of it, but it's much better to use the paper and enjoy the box. We can find something later. I'm gonna be going somewhere and seeing someone and need a box, and this is gonna fit the bill. 3/4 on this side. Okay, and then fold it back and make a little smaller box. But you guys get the idea. Well, it is. It's a learning opportunity, but honestly, like in days gone by, I would get frustrated and throw this part of the box out because I didn't get the measurement right the first time. But why do that when I can use the box for something else? It's silly to waste it, you know? It only takes a second to make these and put them together, so why not use your supplies? And I mean, use up your old paper if you want to practice. It's a really great skill to have. And you could be like me, heading to a friend's birthday party with a gift in tow and realize that you didn't buy a gift bag, which we can also do with designer paper. Maybe that's next week. There's all kinds of ways to make gift bags with designer paper. Okay, so here we go. I'll just fold these in. And like I said, if you want these worksheets, they're on Creating with Selene Facebook page. But later this week, I will have them on my blog at selenekempton.com. I started using my blog again. I'm a woman of few words when it comes to writing. I love to make cards, but then when it comes to writing them, I either get the book that we bought that has all the sayings in it, or I just write Love Selene. I put 9,000 dimensionals on the card. You should know that I love you. That would be a great sentiment, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. So here's another way. And like this would be adorable with one of these guys on the front. So can you see, like, cutting this out and popping it up, maybe putting it on a circle? I mean, there's just so many ways to use this. Or you could use it with the new tree stamp set that has all the dimensional trees. So pretty. And this ribbon could go for days. I'm so happy that I was able to secure these for the quarterly. So everybody who orders one of them will get a full bolt so they can use as much ribbon as they want on their projects and still have some left over after class is done. And see, this one has a charm on it. This one's my scissors. Nice and sharp. anyway, what do you think? So we got 2 great boxes. And yeah, and then this, we slid the belly band off, right? But once you tie the bow once, you don't have to tie it again. So you can get in and out and put more cards in the box and then just slip it over. So like once you, if you do it right, you don't have to retie it. Haha. Just kind of tie it once and you're ready to go. So cute and festive. And this is my favorite designer paper out of the new holiday catalog. There's so much love coming here. Let me flip the camera, just say goodbye. Yeah, there's so much fun coming. I worked all weekend to bring you guys an awesome quarterly filled with lots of surprises. There's fun folds, there's techniques, so I'm super excited. So anyway, I will see you guys all very soon. I'm going to clean my room. I have to shove everything in the closet because I have a bunch of people coming tonight. At least sweep the floor, you know. And yeah, anyway, I hope you have a great week. And Deb, I will see you soon. And have a great night, everybody.